Kiflam, brother, brother.
What does that mean, man? So, Epsilonism, is it a load of crap, or is it the future?
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woods. And today, you guys, we're going to kind of have an open conversation about not only my theory, but a big part of what I personally feel is leading us to why time travel or any of things that are related to GTA's past are even relevant. Now, I want you to once again clear your mind like all of my other videos, and I want you to realize that the first step to understanding is to learn. So we must learn why they do what they do. Now, that being said, this is the eye in the sky, and it's a big mission that I've shown in several of my videos that basically explain how the side of the eye can only be seen in the perspective of a bird, and the bird within GTA's folklore is pronounced as the helicopter. Now, I want you to understand that in this most famous mission, that is the only mission that's referencing anything toward an eye and the sky, is one of the missions where you're going after this car. This car is called the Z-Type. It's called the Truffade V-Type. And a big part of the Z-Type is the fact that it's not only been in GTA 5, okay? I want you guys to pay attention to a big part of what made this mission. And again, you guys, there are hundreds of cars in GTA, period, okay? So before the judgmental people come and try to bash me for paying attention to a car, understand that not only is this Grand Theft Auto, but understand that they have hundreds of cars, but they chose this car. They chose it, okay? Now, something that is in common with most of what I've been talking about in several others of my videos that correlate with time or GTA's historics are the fact that GTA 2 are one of the main things that started the template for GTA. And I've stated this numerous times, but I'm going to restate it once again. And I believe I'm stumbling on more and more proof that are showing Rockstar's relation to their past work and why they love their past work so much, and they want you to appreciate it just as much. Okay? So understand, once again, the Z-Type. Okay? Okay, so before I do show you exactly what is going on with the Z-Type and why it's relevant and time travel and all that, I want you to open your mind and pay attention to something that I'm going to show throughout the video, which is the relevancy to why Da Vinci, okay, Leonardo da Vinci is a big, or could be a big proof of why we have time travel and jetpacks and other things that are possibly still in the game. And I believe they were really hinting towards Da Vinci a long time ago. We just never really noticed it. And here's one of the main things. The first thing I want you to notice is look at Michael's wife. Now, a lot of people could have played this off as just a picture, or even a picture resembling something that's pretty famous of artwork, which is the Mona Lisa. Okay? And if you've never seen the Mona Lisa, I'm going to show you. This is the Mona Lisa. Notice the subtle differences, but notice the big differences, which is that it's pretty much a headshot with a very slight smile. And this smile was made famous by Mona Lisa, okay? Understand that this is an actual thing because of her, okay? It's not just an expression. People do it, but it was made famous by Mona Lisa. Okay, Mona Lisa, if you do not know, was a painting by Leonardo da Vinci. And once again, I'm going to show you that this is not just a coincidence necessarily. It could be played off as one, but so can a lot of things that are in the game, like the mural. Okay, so understand that Leonardo da Vinci has a big part in not only jetpacks, but also time travel. Now, as you see, guys, this is the Truffade Z-Type. And a big reason why this car, to me personally, I feel is significant is because, like I said, they could have used any car, but they chose this one, and they chose to make it a rare car. Even within the description, it says that only 1 out of 10 of these were ever made, meaning they want you to understand the car is not only rare, but it is important. Okay, understand that it's important. All right. Another thing that I want you to realize is that the Truvade Z-Type is a gang car. Okay, it's a car that was used by a gang in GTA 2, and it was used by the Zanbatsu. Okay, the Zanbatsu Corporation was one of the most famous gangs in GTA, and they used this car. All right, understand there are connections between GTA's past work and GTA 5, and there's a reason why they did this. All right. Now, a big part of why I think they did this is so, once again, you can make the correlations and understand just a tad more to not only the mystery, but why there is a mystery and why that it's connected to anything that's relevant, like time travel or electricity or any of that. Now, once again, I'm going to show you guys GTA 2. Time travel is a big part of why GTA is GTA. And I don't mean time travel in a sense of literal time travel like a time machine, but time and traveling within different times is something that they've done before, and it's something that they're hinting towards. Okay, so understand, Back to the Future does not necessarily just have to reference a mod. Okay, it's more than that. It's something that, once again, has been part of GTA's history. And the fact is that they have gone in the future before, and I'm going to show you. So now we're looking at GTA 2, and right off the bat, I want to make it very clear that Liberty City, San Andreas, and Vice City, the locations, have already been created in GTA 1, if you did not know. Okay? That's where they were first originated, and yes, they were a lot different, especially with the format and how they laid out. Now, understanding that, in GTA 2, like I said, was the template for most of the games in the genre. It was centered around a protagonist named Claude Speed, okay? Remember that. And it took place in a place called Anywhere City, okay? These are the layouts of the different districts within the city. Okay. Now, one thing I want to get right off the bat is something pertaining to my last video about the stars. And this is just something that I recently noticed. And that if you put in perspective, it kind of makes sense. It basically talks about each district having a maximum wanted level. Okay. That the player can acquire. But it's pretty much likely due to later on levels that are more difficult. Okay, understand that the wanted level in GTA 2 was put in place, all right, at a maximum, meaning there was a limit to how many stars you can get, all right, but it was only to stop you from obtaining another part of the game that wasn't intended to see yet. And if you think about it, you guys, that's 80% of what the wanted system has always been about. Okay, I mean, if you cross another city that the game didn't recognize you being at that point yet, like if you didn't unlock the next section and you somehow made it across the next city, you already had 6 stars. An impossible feat. Okay, they put that there to stop you from obtaining something that was not supposed to be obtained just yet. Okay, now the second thing I want you guys to kind of clear your mind about is just how these games were formatted in their timeline. Okay, because GTA 2's timeline actually makes 0 sense. But also, okay, I want you to get this, is that also time travel, when you introduce time travel into a timeline, it contradicts another part of that timeline. All right, it's fact. When you intervene in a part of time, it screws up a part of the timeline in general. Okay, and I think you guys. Okay, this is me personally, Whispy, but I think that they're hinting towards kind of a breach in that timeline, and I believe that there was not necessarily time travel, as I said before in the game, but they were hinting towards the symbolism of being back in the future. So now we're looking at GTA in its entirety and just the series' main timeline and how it works. Now, one thing I want to make clear is that, yes, the GTA universes are a tad different from one another, but there are numerous bits of evidence that show that not only do they coexist with certain eras of each other, that Easter eggs and certain hidden things are kind of what tie them together, okay? Now, understand that if it's an Easter egg that ties them together, could it be the grand Easter egg that we're looking for? Okay? That being said, pay attention to their timeline and how it works. For some reason, it goes 1961, 1969, 1997, and then 1984, 1986, 1992, 1998, 2000, 2001, 2008, 2009, and now we're at 2013. All right. And if you haven't noticed, I've skipped one here, and for one big reason is that I need you to understand the correlation. For some reason, GTA 2, the same one that I've been talking about, is set in the same year as GTA 5. Okay? And if that's not weird enough, I think one thing that does it is that GTA 2, like I said previously, features Speed Claude. And Speed Claude is in GTA 3, meaning there's a 12-year gap, and it should be right here. All right? Now, one thing that doesn't make sense, though, is that Speed Claude was a different age in both these games, and they contradict each other. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this was not their introduction of showing us that there might be an element to going literally, you guys, literally, because I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about literally going back to the future, okay? Understand the word play, because word play is a big part of what I'm talking about here. How this whole mystery works is based on word play and symbolism. This is Johnny Zoo, okay? He's part of the Yakuza as far as the GTA 2 world is concerned. One thing I want to point out, though, about him is not that he's relevant toward the mystery that we know of, but I want you guys to understand, and what I'm going to kind of go past real fast and show you each one, is that in this game, they have mentioned, they cared, Rockstar cared to intentionally mention their place of birth, okay? Notice that. They mention their place of birth. I'm going to show you real quick why this makes sense for the other characters, but for some reason, they stop at Claude, and I think I know why. Like I said, this one right here is Elmo. He's the leader of the Loonies, okay? In place of birth. Okay, let's get close up. Anywhere City. This is Billy Bob Bean. He is the leader of the Rednecks in GTA 2, and his place of birth is just like a few others, Anywhere City. Okay. This is Dr. Labrat, and he is the leader of the Scientists. All right. Look where his place of birth is, Anywhere City. This is Jerkoff, and he is the leader of the Russian Mafia. And notice how his place of birth is Serbia, Russia. And this is Sunbeam, from the leader of Hare Krishna. And his place of birth was Stockholm, Sweden. So understand that they even mentioned stuff that wasn't even in their gaming universe necessarily, okay? Now, the reason I'm showing you this is so you can understand the significance of their main characters and how they actually care enough to add a history. Now, once it's said that they have a history, it's said that they give them a place of birth, all right? And most characters that have a history within their gaming folklore actually have a place of birth. But one thing that is inconsistent with what I'm telling you is that Speed Claude, like I said, his timeline is very screwed up, as if he time traveled, okay? And I'm gonna show you. And this is Claude Speed, okay? He is the main character, the main protagonist of GTA 2. And one thing I want to point out is that why would they honestly give so much information for the bad guys within GTA 2, alright? But then when it comes to your protagonist, they leave so little out. Now, yes, in video games, there has been numerous protagonists who didn't necessarily have a huge history, but this is GTA, and they honestly add history for things that they want to be significant, okay? But understand that Claude Speed's history is a little funny, and it honestly, to me, kind of says something about time and traveling through time. Now understand, when you travel through time, it contradicts other things that happened in your timeline. All right, it's no different than in Back to the Future when Marty had two of him. All right, it made no sense how there was an older version of him and a younger version of him at the exact same time. All right, now understand that Claude Speed, as you see, only has a date of birth. And there's no actual place of birth. There's no place, you guys. They don't mention it. And a big part of why I think they don't mention it is because they mention it in GTA 3, the same game that Claude Speed is from. But it makes no sense, you guys, because GTA 3 was created in 2001. All right? That was the actual timeline, the chronological timeline that the game was created in, okay? It was set in that time. And this game was set in 2013, all right? And like I said, the ages don't actually add up, because with this character, one thing that's pretty interesting about Claude Speed, all right, is the fact that, you know, he had a live action movie trailer that was like a movie for the video game. You know, it's back when they didn't have much graphics to actually pull off the trailers we know of now. Now, one thing that's interesting though is that in the intro movie, it showed that he was 28. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's probably not necessarily the right thing to go off of a trailer, you know. Things can be, you know, stupid. They could easily put just a number to put a number, you know, on a rap sheet or whatever that was in the actual trailer. But one thing that doesn't make sense is that why would they keep this error? Why would they keep his age error in GTA 3? Think about it, you guys. They could have made a whole nother GTA. They've done it before that. They made GTA London, all right? They could have went straight into Vice City. They could have done a lot of other styles of the same game in a different version, like they did in GTA London. But they chose to keep going with Claude. They chose, all right? And for some reason, they did not clear his timeline up, all right? Because understand that even if that the facts in the very first trailer were wrong about his age, that if Claude Speed was in fact, you know, 28 in GTA 2, that he would have been 17 in GTA 3, because it's 12 years before. Now, understand this, even in GTA San Andreas, which is set in 1992, he would have probably only been about 6 years old. But this doesn't make sense because there's evidence in GTA San Andreas that he was a lot older, alright? So, this either means he was not the same character, or that there were two of him at the exact same time. A lot like how the Epsilon told Michael you can be 47,000 places at the exact same time. But understand this, okay? If GTA 2 was, and I use that term, was set in 1999, it would actually make sense, because then he would be about 22 in San Andreas, and then later on in 2001 he would be about 29, and so on and so forth. But GTA 2 is set before all the other games within its development, but its timeline is set after GTA 3. So understand, you guys, and I know it is hard to understand because it's time travel. We still don't even understand it to this day, like as a society of people. There's a lot of loopholes, but understand that when there's time travel, there are loopholes. Now, one thing you're probably asking yourself is, okay, man, what does this even have to do with anything, or the space dock, or the jetpack, or any of the shit? Because Claude Speed was in he was in GTA 3. He has nothing to do with GTA 5. Now, I want you to open your mind and think about this. If GTA 5 is set in San Andreas, and they never in GTA 2 announced where Claude Speed was from, then why is it that Claude in GTA 3, alright, and you guys, like, really think about it, it's the same fucking guy. It is the same fucking guy. Why is it that Claude, alright, look at this, has a place of birth? And guess where it is, you guys? San Andreas. This is the San Andreas we know of in GTA 5. The same place that for some reason we have all these references towards time travel. Think about it. And if that doesn't get you thinking about it, I'm going to show you something that shows that not only were there San Andreas in the past folklore of GTA, but it just might be the San Andreas that we know of today. You guys, have you ever honestly wondered why we don't have the old GTA San Andreas map, and it's like basically this now? I mean, really think about it. It's a big difference, and I'm going to show you why.